Go, boy!
Hey, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another 3BG at the movies with me, CJ, and DJ Tsunami over here. And I feel this is the makeup for another movie we didn't really review, but we talked at length offline. Today we're talking about the White Man Can't Jump remake, which comes from the same director that did House Party, Calmatic. He is a
No, he
music
also
video.
did. No, he also did the original. One of the screenplay was also done by the guy who did the original White Man Can't Jump.
Yeah. Calmatic, he's a music video director. Claim to fame is he did Little Nas X Old Town Road music video, and he's basically done music videos for Anderson .Paak, Kendrick, Vince Staples and all that. Even the Vince Staples show, he did that thing. And I think much like with House Party, what you have with White Man Can't Jump is an okay movie. It's fine. Um, Much like House Party, it makes me question why call it White Man Can't Jump if it's not. Hey, D's here.
Oh shit, y'all niggas live. My bad. Have fun, y'all.
Anyways,
Jesus.
yeah, I know. Much like House Party, I kind of question like why call it a White Man Can't Jump when you could have called it something else and it would have been fine.
I'm 100% in agreement with that because as I sat and watched this movie, I said, why did they call this House Party? This could have been any other movie. Sorry, not House Party. I mean, this could why did you call this White Man Can't Jump? Same with House Party. Why did you call it that? This you could have went with any title and you'd have been fine.
Yeah, because my thing, going back to House Party, I was really thinking about that, especially after watching this movie. The beauty of the original House Party, I think I finally nailed it. House Party was just really about a bunch of teenagers organizing a weeknight house party and the shenanigans surrounding it. That's it. Nothing deeper than that. That's it. Other than, kid is on punishment and he's doing what teenagers do, which is sneak out. All right, fine. Nothing deeper than that. That's all it is, right?
It's the most 90s thing we can think of.
And when you look at the remake was doing this thing of, oh man, this man, he's both of them are party promoters and they need to get their lives together and all that. And it's fine to do that, but it's like, that's not really House Party. Like the main get was literally just like, oh, we're partying at LeBron James' house. And I'm like, that's not really a house party. It's just, this is like
I mean, whatever happened to just being spiritual successors?
yeah, just name it something else, but it's inspired by House Party, something like that. We've gotten those type of movies.
Yeah.
We talked at length about how Swim Fan is literally just Fatal Attraction in high school, but they named it Swim Fan, not Fatal Attraction. It's like, oh, I see the Fatal Attraction aspect here. Y'all just put a little spin on it because it's teenagers, right? And it's like, well, White Man Can't Jump. It's like nothing about it kept to the spirit of what made the original there. Like, obviously, like you mentioned, the guy that did the original White Man Jump, you see a little bit of it in this movie, but it's not. It's not enough.
Okay, so all right. First of all, if you're gonna remake this, why not use the original main characters' names?
Yeah. So Cinco Walls and Jack Harlow play the Sydney and what's the other dude's name?
Billy Hoyle.
And Billy Hoyle character. Jack Harlow pretty much is Billy Hoyle and Cinco Wells is Sydney, right? But they named them Kamal and Jeremy, which I'm like, fucking why? Like at this point, you're just telling me that this isn't like it's like, come on, man, really? You couldn't even commit to the names, like
just by not committing to the names. I'm like, okay, so we are definitely not a remake, but again, we are now in spiritual successor territory.
Bingo.
And and yes, you can try to reenact moments from the original film, like the classic best out of 5 shots moment, the free throw line shots. Dude, the fact that they do that like smack dab at the beginning of the movie was, a little whiplashes, a little bit, but again, I get it. You want to remake the original film, but not going beat for beat, but the story is literally beat for beat, except instead of the girl trying to get on Jeopardy. It was a completely separate thing.
But it still fit within the motif of who Billy
It's
is and just what he was doing with Sydney and stuff.
and the other thing too, there's no gangsters chasing them like all over the doggone country.
Which, ironically enough, they could have just looking at real quick. I mean, maybe 3BG will touch on that movie, but like, I'm surprised that they actually managed to tie that fucking subplot in that movie up. Like, oh, he paid it off. All right, cool, and
Yeah,
that's it. And I'm like,
like
oh, they could have that could have easily been just like, so did he ever pay back the mobsters? I don't know.
bruh. First of all, the fact that they was waiting at that new hotel that they was hiding out at.
Yeah, he gave them motherfuckers that money. Like, here, get the fuck out of my face. I'm done.
Like first of all, you gave him the money and then you still pose like you was dead.
Yeah, but this movie, it's like we're talking about Kamal and Jeremy. Kamal is the Sydney character, except this time he's a high school prospect that was going to go into the NBA, but due to an incident involving him assaulting someone, it got railroaded and he got thrown in jail.
So he pulled he pulled a Ron Spreewell.
Yeah. Jeremy is a player who messed up both his knees playing ball and is trying to do the guru health thing and still show that he can still play ball despite both bum knees. And it's kind of almost like the Billy thing, except just on a different tier kind of thing, just a little bit differently.
I
in
mean,
a way.
The thing with Billy, well, here's the difference. In Billy's case, it's mentioned that he got hurt playing, so so he can never really play pro ball, but he can still play. And you clearly see him playing, and he got the skills to play throughout the movie. Yeah. In this movie's case, we watching my man Jack Harlow wrap both knees up, and I'm like, dude, I don't know about you, but I'm just sitting back here with a stopwatch. Like, all right, how long until one or both of them knees give out?
With the
because plot.
Oh yeah, I mean, but also because plot, they have to add a wrinkle because, like we said in the original, Billy was dealing with Italian gangsters coming after him for money. The wrinkle in this one is Jeremy's on drugs because of his bum knees, and he's trying to keep it from his girlfriend who'd been telling him, "Hey, I don't want you to be out here trying to play ball again, trying to aspire to these hoop dreams, knowing full and well your ass do not need to be on the fucking court." Which is legit. She has a point. It's like, bro, you have two bum knees. What are you doing?
I mean, it sucks. It really sucks to see. That's got to be like one of the most soul crushing things as an athlete, to know that your ability to play or like your dreams of having any kind of career utilizing the skill that you're best at is just gone.
Yeah, and the thing of it is, it's like, again, the baseline of a movie is there. It's an interesting angle for both characters and what they're doing with Kamal's coming out of jail. He's pretty much an Amazon Prime driver, trying to make ends meet and get his girl out of the hood, just kind of what Sydney was doing with his family in the original one.
It never really emphasized much on what Sydney's angle was. We just knew that he
had a day job.
In between day jobs, because remember, he still never had like an actual steady job.
Because his wife was getting on his ass on that shit.
Yeah, because remember, he was like, I had the painting thing and the construction thing. It's moving kind of slow, and there's this and that. Hey, basketball is still putting food on the table. Basketball's not a job, baby. And I always love the rebuttal to that. Oh, what do you know? I'm actually late at the office. I gotta show him a new hook shot.
We didn't get those. That's the crazy thing about this movie. We didn't get those kind of witty jokes. That's the crazy part. I think that does hit to the hard point of like our feelings on this movie. It's like those type of jokes is what made the original funny. Where it's like it's so pretty. It's so those kind of things. It's funny, and it's like, we don't get that. And Kenya Barris wrote this movie, which his fingerprints is all over this fucking movie, especially on the race relations aspect of it. And I'm like, all right, Kenya, like what okay. Like, look,
the race relations, and it is current year 23. 2023. It's current year 23. And why are we still trying to be ironic when it comes to race jokes?
Why are we acting like white guys cannot ball? Like we've seen it. Like come
Not
on.
even that. Not even so much the whole, white boys can't ball. I mean, come on. They name drop freaking Steve Nash and like every other hot at the time white guy in this movie. But never mind that. How about any time that that your boy like anytime the two main characters have like a moment where it's supposed to be a joke, and then in this weird way they don't necessarily try to explain the joke, but it's like a backhanded way of explaining the joke of saying, so what you trying to say, like are you trying to say that black people can't do this? Well, why are you trying to say that white people can't do this? And I'm like, oh my god, why are you turning into Twitter?
Because yeah, see, no, I wasn't gonna say that, but you're right.
Like it's Twitter, and the fact that this goes on for more than
necessary.
Way more than necessary. I'm like, bro, they were like going back and forth on this joke for like a solid 4 minutes.
Yeah, and it's like again, that's why we're going to constantly do comparisons. The beauty of the original was like, yeah, it was the 90s. There was that stigma of can white boys ball, but like the beauty of it was them just visually showing Billy being this fucking white dude trying to be all aloof, but he can still ball, and he can also talk trash with the best of them still.
I mean, I'm just saying
it was great.
I'm just saying, Chris, if the original movie came out when like if the original came out when Jason Kidd and Tony Kukoc were playing, then maybe we might have had an argument. We might have had an argument.
Yeah, it's like, all right, even though we know Tony Kukoc can ball, it's like, all right, you got something. All right, movie, cool, fine. But like in this instance, it's like,
or have it take place in the college when Mike Bibby, but still that'd have been 97.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like, I think that's the problem. It's like maybe for people younger than us, they're not going to care about the name, but I think it's going to make them be like, all right, let me see the original one since it's White Man Can't Jump. Because obviously, if they Google it, it's going to come up with the old movie in this one, obviously. So it's going to be kind of like, well, hold on though, like this could have been a different name movie because the dynamics is like you can see them as friends, but even as they're like getting to know each other, they felt more like coworkers than friends,
Yeah, most definitely.
Like the respectable, like, hey, I respect you, you respect me, and that's it. And it's like I didn't get that budding friendship like the original did, where like by the end it's like, oh, we're friends. We built up to that point, and it's nothing against any of the people that's in this movie. It's nothing against Jack Harlow, Sinkla, Tiana Taylor, even Lance Reddick, who this is one of his final performances before he died.
Yeah, rest in power to Lance Reddick, man. I like his role was great.
Yeah, and I think that's what made it kind of an interesting aspect to it, because it's like, oh, his dad's involved, which is, again, we didn't get that in the original, but it's like at the same time, it's like, what's the angle here? Like, it's just after I came away from the movie, it's like House Party, where I just shrugged, like, it's a movie, it's fine. It's just could have named this shit something else. Like I said, House Party could have been Super Black Buddy Happy Hour, and we would have been fine. Like, all right, cool, But this is like,
Can I also say that in this remake, you want to know how you take a moment that was considered tense and yet ironically funny at the same time?
Yeah.
And then you take that moment and we say, hey, let's turn it up to 11, but at the same time make it not funny.
And that is,
in the original, Raymond put 2 and 2 together and realized he's been hustled. And he says, hey, you know what? I'm not arguing. I'm going back to my car, get my other gun, come back, and I'm shooting everybody's ass. The threat alone, and seeing this freaking 6'4" dude walk to his car.
The 5-second pause of everybody looking at each other and saying, fuck this shit, we're out.
And running.
No need to say, does he have a gun? It's like, oh no, fuck this shit. I already know the deal. Gun. That's the thing. No, we're done.
And that's the thing. We didn't even have to. Well, we definitely saw that that he definitely had access to guns. I mean, my man's out here pulling Gilbert Arenas moves, trying to finagle selling his freaking gun to Ronaldo Ray in that
money for a game.
Yeah, that's right. My man pawned this freaking gun for money for a game.
Yeah, but in this one, they
but
try to
but in
do the
this
same thing, and
but
it's
in
like,
yeah, in this one they try to do the same thing, and then what happens? My man comes back with a freaking flamethrower. Dude wasn't even playing ball. We just find out this random dude just has a flamethrower and he's coming up to light the court on fire. Like,
it doesn't
okay.
hit the same. It's like, all
It
right, it's
doesn't
cool
hit the
for shock.
same.
It's cool for a shock value, but
I'm
it's
like,
like, what's the
it's
context in
silly.
this joke? Like,
It's actually silly.
because who the like? Because the gun, because of basketball court, it's funny because that's a real life thing. Like, straight
Yeah,
up.
that's a
Like,
real life thing. Like you know what? I'm gonna be mad if somebody, like, God forbid, like somebody actually really does attempt to do that shit in real life. Go to a freaking basketball like court with a flamethrower. I'm like, look, it ain't funny in the movie. Don't try to do that shit in real life.
and it sucks too because there are moments where there's some like Vince Staples is actually pretty funny in this movie. I give him that. He's actually pretty funny. Lance Reddick is pretty good in this role too. It's like everybody's good. It's just it ain't hit. The comedy ain't hitting like it should. It really ain't.
I mean, there's some things if you want to try to reference the original, like if you want to reference the original movie, there's certain ways of doing it. Like you have Tatiana, who's
Tiana
Jeremy's
Taylor.
girlfriend. No. Tiana Taylor, that's Imani.
Oh yeah, yeah,
That's
Tatiana. My bad. My bad.
That's
My bad.
Kamal's girl.
Yeah, my
Which
bad.
which of course Tiana Taylor, of course, man. It's a basketball movie, sneakers. Yeah, of course she's gonna be in this.
Oh, we'll
And
get
let's
into
be
sneakers in a minute.
and let's be real, she low key kind of played up her character from what was that
Thousand words.
yeah, 1,000 words. No, what's a 1,000 words? Or was
Yeah, thousand words.
yeah, 1,000 words.
Yeah, thousand words.
Um, oh god, I mean, she was fine. I enjoyed her. She was good in the movie, but the, the part I'm talking about is with Tatiana.
Mhm.
You remember like now you remember that scene in the original where Billy and Rosie Perez are in the car driving after dropping off Sydney,
Yeah.
and she starts riding him while my man is in my man is driving on the main street trying to see.
Yeah.
She's trying to grind on this dude. I'm like, yo, can y'all please stop trying to stop trying to cause a freaking accident just because you want to get it on. They reenacted that same scene in this movie.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
And I want to know from your opinion, does it hit the same?
it really doesn't hit the same. Like
I mean,
it's there, but it's like
don't get me wrong. I think Laura Harrier, she's a very lovely woman.
yeah.
You, you're not Rosie Perez though.
Yeah, I mean, she's her own person, so
She's definitely her own
that's
person. I
unfair.
mean,
That is unfair.
it's unfair, but I mean, come on, man. I mean, come on. As much as I called out the stupidity of the original movie, I'm like, damn it, it's Rosie Perez, and she gonna make a scene sexy. You know?
Yeah, I mean, it's yeah. That I think that's the summation of the movie. It's like it's fine, but like if you're trying to stack it up to the original, it's like dude, the original like
You
runs
gotta pick.
laps.
You really got to pick your spots on what you're gonna reenact from the original. Good example. Nobody did the Billy Hoyle hook shot.
Nah, it really wasn't.
That was a good. It was a good moment from the original. Nobody reenacted for this movie.
yeah. I mean, it's what D said it, and the fact that if you're going to do a remake of something, you got to elevate the material. Like it's like, what did the original do, and what can we do that can actually take what the original probably missed the boat on and improve on it. And it's just this movie didn't really do that. And I mean, I know somebody might sit there and say, well, the race relations is good for this time period for today's time period, but like you said, this feels like more Twitter speak than actual like out in the world, out on the streets, how people really communicate race relations kind of
Yeah,
deal.
that's definitely Twitter speak.
I hate to say that like that because it's like I kind of like don't want to be that person and be like, oh man, they're speaking for Twitter and stuff because
Well,
again,
I don't say
you
for. I don't say for. I say you respond in Twitter.
yeah, because it's like I don't want to sit there and discount the people that do these movies and write these movies. Again, I know they mean well, but I think they missed the boat on what made the original so good and think that they have to do something to today's world. And it's like, bro, like you have to twist it around. White, like doing white man can't jump, you're implying that white dudes still can play ball. But that was the hook to the original movie was, yeah, we had white people in the NBA back in the, was it 93? That was it 93 or 94 that movie came out?
No, the original came out in 92.
Yeah, 92. And it's like, all right, you can make the case in 92. Yes, there were white people playing ball, but it was still very dominated by black faces and stuff. And everybody, maybe, oh, you're John Stockton, that kind of shit, right? Or like you said, Tony Kukoc and shit. So it's like,
well, at that time of the movie, they used to make fun of him by saying, "This ain't that country club shit y'all be doing."
Yeah, so it worked. It worked at that time period, and it's like,
I'm like, damn, you can't even give them the respect of saying the white dudes in the NBA that don't get that much airtime.
Like Christian Leitner, you couldn't even give him that shit. Like, nah, we didn't give him that shit.
Y'all went straight to country club, and see, that's funny.
And the thing of it is, now it's like you're trying to still play up like in 2023, like it's 1992, and it doesn't work. It doesn't hit because it's like, dog, it's 2023. White dudes play, so you got to change it up on the jokes and do something
prominent. There are prominent white dudes in basketball. I mean, come on, again, you name drop Steve Nash. I'm like, this movie just shattered its own reality.
Yeah, it's it's like, because even with the angle of Jeremy being this guy that's trying to play up being, ooh, shit. Oh, damn. Cut out. No. Hold on for 1 second, folks. Hold on for 1 second, folks. Wait for it.
Sorry.
All right, we're back. Oh, we're back. But nah, it's those are the things where it's like, if you're going to do it, you're just gonna do it. Like you said, the movie just upended itself on making the Steve Nash joke. But on top of that, even with the whole thing of Jeremy playing up like he's this hippie dude, it's like it works in a way, but they really could have emphasized that more as they were hustling people. And I felt they kind of dropped the ball on that aspect of it a bit.
I mean, I get it. You hustle detox juice by day.
Yeah, and that's a good angle to go. I thought that's what they were going to really emphasize. And it's like, it's emphasized, but it isn't really like played up hugely, because even, when you get near the tail end of the movie, but like I said, I'm not going to, spoil it, but like, that's the thing. And I think that's unfortunately where we're at right now when we do these remakes, is that you get people that, like, again, they mean well when they do it, but they have to really, I feel they're not really looking at what made the originals so good and beloved in the first place. And maybe there's going to be some younger people that watch these movies and they'll love it because, just like when, we never, did we ever do a Space Jam remake review? I don't think we did.
No, we didn't.
But I think we were talking about that when we watched it, where it's like, I can see how somebody young could probably watch the LeBron Space Jam and be like, oh, I really loved it and stuff, and gives those same vibes as how we were when we watched the original Space Jam. But in the grand scheme, it's like the original Space Jam kind of hits a little bit better than the LeBron one, unfortunately. It's just,
I mean, it's sometimes just telling a simple story is really all you need to do.
Yeah. And
like, you don't have to go as extra just because it's current year. You know what I mean?
Yeah, simplicity is the name of the game. So it's like, I think overall you'll come away from the movie like, oh, that was a fine little movie. But if you're a person that's a fan of the original movie, or I would dare say, if you watch this movie and you came out of it like, oh, that was a fine movie, go back and watch the original 1992 movie, and just to really get an assessment of whether how you can compare and contrast those things. I always feel that that's something that people should do, because even after the original House Party, it's like, Yeah, there's a reason why the original House Party just holds up and is more beloved. Yes, some of the stuff like the crew that beat up kid looking like a bunch of 30-year-old men playing teenagers. All right, cool. We can joke about that all day, but at the end of the day, that movie's just still holds up because of the simplicity of what it was.
I will say again that the original being the more superior film, that without trying to spoil, I will say this. One of the biggest pivotal moments of the original movie that really hits, drives its point, falls so flat in the remake.
Mm.
You know exactly what I'm talking about, CJ. I don't want to say it, but when you see it, you'll see it.
Okay.
You know you'll know exactly what I mean. To me, it felt flat. I'm like, huh? No build up. This like that's it? Okay.
Yeah. It's just it, but it's indicative of what you were saying earlier about the fucking court joke with the gun and then new one, the flamethrower. It's like you kind of missed the point of why the original hit because it just went full
Yeah,
tilt.
like it literally drove itself back to like to that original point.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's White Man Can't Jump. It's going to be dropping on Hulu. Yeah, kind of glad it didn't hit theaters like House Party did because, yeah.
See, why do I have a feeling that the studio involved or whoever decided to greenlight it, they pretty much approached the studio with this plot, like with the movie's plot, right?
Mm-hmm.
And even though they probably had a different title set like in mind, but instead decided let's just remake this as White Man Can't Jump. We're gonna take like about max 3 moments from the original as a parallel, and everything else we're just gonna be original with it.
Yeah.
Like I just have a feeling that had they probably went along and gave this movie an original title, would the impacts be any different?
Yeah. That I don't know. That's and look, I'm waiting for that steel book of White Man Can't Jump 92.
Oh, you know what's coming.
You know what's coming. So with that in mind, if I really had to really kind of go on the grade here and stuff, I mean, hey, thank God it's on Hulu because I would have been like, you know what, wait till it hits streaming before I would go to theaters on that one. Because that's how I felt about House Party. I was like, thank God I didn't pay money in theaters for this shit. I ain't saying the movie is shit. It's just all right.
No, it's to me. I felt like House Party has had one too many chances to try to play. Like, listen, you try to beat the bar that's in hell, known as House Party 3, and you still can't do it. It's been 30 years and you still can't do it.
I would dare say, as disjointed House Party 3 was, at least you understood the overall basis of what it was getting to, right? Like it was funny because I felt House Party 2 was good in the fact that it showed the evolution of Kid and Play's character and the fact of just like when you hit college, you get into that next stage in your life. And we saw how Kid and what's her face, they broke up because, hey, that's what happens. And
ironically, her name is Sydney.
Yeah, Sydney, and all that stuff. And then House Party 3, he's with a new chick. He's in another stage of his life and, and all that and stuff. So it's like, as much as 3 might not be as good as 1 and 2 was, at least there was something of a beginning, middle, and end, and you get it.
It was a good bookend.
Yeah, and I think funny enough, I think White Man Can't Jump is kind of like a House Party 3 in the sense of you see the evolution of these characters where they have to finally figure out how to get out their own ways in certain ways. Because again, these characters have some soul searching moments and such. But so it's like on that level as a story, it works. It's just, this ain't White Man Can't Jump. You just did it just to have a name, to your movie.
It really felt to me. I really, really do believe that if this was titled anything but, the movie would have been fine.
Interracial basketball hijinks. The movie.
I mean,
something.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah. But hey, folks, it's hey, look, hey, this is 2023. You take the good and the bad. It just is what it is, you know. So hey,
I dare say it. Average.
no, it's very average. It's very average.
Average. This movie's average.
Like this shit. If this shit came on TBS, it's background noise for sure.
Sunday afternoon background noise.
Oh yes, for sure. And I mean, sometimes that's not a bad thing. It's look, I've literally turned on something at like 10 o'clock. If this movie came on at like 10 o'clock at night, I will probably fall asleep to it, but it's something that I can listen to it while my eyes are closed, kind of thing. And that kind of movie, right? And there's like there's tons of movies I've done that too, and to varying degrees of average to bad.
Yeah.
But it's something on in the background, you know, that kind of thing. So, but at any rate, I think we kind of talked at length about this movie. So, yeah, with that in mind, we will catch you guys later. Peace.
Later.
That boy is Benny Hanna.